Good morning and welcome to Open Conversation. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders' analysis. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party, system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impact to society. Today we'll be looking at these stories. Ondo State. Court bars Ayedetiwa from seeking re-election come 2028. El Rufai, ICPC access to analyze seized electronic devices. INEX delay affecting NNPP membership drive, and this is coming from founder. Still in politics, PDP counting down to its expiration. APC. PDP crisis still. Relieve as Suraki faction tables conditions for reconciliation. Leadership crisis. PDP Bank Board of Trustees constitutes reconciliation committee. We are open for sponsorship of the program, adverts, placements, news events coverage and commercials. Also watch us live on our website www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, AVO TV platform, Niger TV, Ifastech TV platform. Also connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, Atlantic TV Net. We're going for a short interlude. When I return, I will introduce my guest for today's conversation. Welcome back to Open Conversation. Joining me in the studio this morning is none other than one of our very regulars on this program. He goes by the name Mr. Nze O Nze, or you can call him the People's Bishop. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Antonia. How are you?
Fine, thank you,
You're
sir.
looking very elegant.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, you look good yourself.
Oh, that's good.
Always representing the people.
Oh, well.
Elegantly as well.
There's a difference between my look and the look of Nigerians, the Nigerian populace.
Okay.
Because I might look okay, but they're not looking okay. One, in their mind. Two, in their belly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You already started the conversation, I see. Anyway, without wasting much time, let's get into today's conversation. Federal High Court in Akure, Ondo State has barred Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa from contesting the 2028 governorship election in the state. According to the court, allowing him to seek another term would violate the constitutional limit of 8 years tenure. The court, presided over by Justice Toyin Bolaji Adegoke, in a judgment delivered, held that the 1999 Constitution, as amended, does not provide for a situation where an elected president, vice president, governor, or deputy governor will spend more than 8 years in office. Recall that Adetiwa was sworn in on December 27, 2024, to complete the tenure of the late governor Rotimi Akeredolu. Ayedatiwa was later sworn in again on February 24, 2025, after defeating Honorable Abola, a candidate of the People's Democratic Party, in the November 16, 2024 governorship election. Justice Adegoke ruled that the suit is not speculative or academic, emphasizing that it has inherent jurisdiction to interpret any section of the Constitution, being a creation of law and duty-bound to uphold it at all times. Recall that a member of the All Progressive Congress, Dr. Akin Eduwalo, had dragged the governor, his deputy, Dr. Olayide Adelani, and the ruling party to court over eligibility to contest for another term in office. Bishop, is it really unprecedented for a sitting governor? I mean, he is mandated, it is his right and privilege to go in for, like at least 2 times. Do we need to count in the time where he came to serve as a governor due to, the demise of the previous governor? Do we need to count that as him being, the number of times he's been sworn in, or should that actually stop him from, being re-elected or going in for another election? I mean, he's entitled to, to contest twice on his own platform. So should it be held against him?
Sometimes the way some judges carry out their ruling in most litigations surprises some of us who are laymen in that area. But observing very critically the statement of the court, or perhaps the litigants who are pressing for his his ineligibility to contest for 2028 election, they are adding the period he covered in for his boss, his principal, who died in active service. They're adding that to one of the times he has ruled as a governor. But I didn't see it very clear in the law, except Supreme Court we may need to interpret this, because I am sure that editor will proceed to a higher court for perhaps a better judgment. Because if he had covered just not up to 1 year gap, he spent instead of his principal, then now the election, the tenure, a new tenure, a fresh tenure at command, he contested and won. I think it should be counting for him from that new tenure. You see, like when some people were dragging about the competence of our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, you know, contesting for 2027 general election, when the people were calling, even for 2023 general election. And some of us were like, he should stay with the 6 years he has spent. But the truth is that in the law, I doubt, I'm not speaking as a lawyer, but I'm speaking as a citizen, as a Nigerian. I doubt if that 2 years he covered for his principal who was demised will stand against him. I doubt. Because those who were calling him to come back and contest, perhaps at some point there was this school of thought that the North will give him a nod, knowing that he doesn't have constitutional power to run for 2 terms, since he had spent 1 term as elected president from 2011 to 2015. So, but the time he spent from 2009 to 2011 was not covered. So, whereas some people were saying that he has only 2 more years to run, but those who were calling him perhaps might have a better understanding of what the law stipulates in that regard.
Yeah.
So, looking at what the court in is deciding in the case of Lokia Edetewa, I don't think if it will stand a test of time. So, but it is up to him. He can decide to go home with the judgment and take his rest, or he will contest the judgment in a higher court.
I mean, this is a situation that has happened before in other climates, and then they allow these officials to run their due terms. For example, let's take the Ghana, you know, the country Ghana as a case study, where the current president had also stepped in for his principal before, you know, after they lost the Atamils. So he had to step in, and then, you know, for the duration, he stepped in for that, and he was re-elected into power. He lost the 2nd term. He's not re-elected again. So that's not something that has not been done.
Ghana is a sovereign nation,
I know, but I'm just saying,
a different constitution guiding
it's still basically the same thing that you cannot
the same event,
yes,
the same event,
same law as well. That prevents you from seeking office more than twice. I mean, after your 8-year term in office, you're not allowed to come in.
Constitution allows for 8 years, in fact 4-year tenure.
Yes,
and a chance, a space, a window. Perhaps you want to run again. If you don't want to run again, no qualms. But if you want to run again, you have a window. So that same law applies to Ghana. But when you look at the constitution of Ghana and that of Nigeria, you might have some clauses. So if you use what happens in Ghana to maybe cite as example to what happened in Nigeria, should any lawyer hold this so firmly, he might lose his case. But however, I believe that those who have the opportunity to study the law and interpret it as in the court of competent jurisdiction should be able to do that. If it works for Adetewa, fine. But if he loses his case, well, it will be one of the instances that will be cited by other lawyers in Nigeria should such incidents occur in the future.
Okay. Some political analysts too are of the opinion is happening to him because he does not have strong political backing. I mean, like you rightfully pointed out, in the case of Goodluck Jonathan, after, you know, stepping in for his own his own principle as well, he now came and then stood for his own election. He won the first one. He still went again for the second one when he was now removed. But and there's no court that stopped him from running again. So if it can be applied during Jonathan's time, why is it the other way around during Adetewa's time? Is it a political undertone, and is this because he does not have like a strong political backing or fatherism or anybody supporting him who would have stood up for him in this kind of situation?
Well, putting it this way will make some of us to begin to feel sympathy for where we're supposed not to feel sympathy. Do you know the powers of a sitting governor? If you say there is political undertone, I might not doubt you, because everything done within political circle must have political undertone. Remember that in politics, it's a game of interest. So while some people are eager to unseat you, some will be praying that you remain, because there are people who have their flow continuing if you should remain. And once you back out of office, their tap would run dry. So I believe that as a sitting governor who does not know what he's supposed to do to build a strong background, political background, well, he's not fit being in office. Though over time in Nigeria, we have seen men who does not have capacity, the intelligence, the dexterity, and perhaps mental toughness to be in leadership, but somehow fate will bring them into leadership, and they will stay and go. And once they leave office, everything about them perishes, which means they have no legacy. But for Adetuwa, I think having served as a deputy governor, and in fact, he has in several offices, in political offices before now. So if he does not know what to do, that's up to him. I believe that all this while he was in government as a sitting, in fact, now he's still a sitting governor. So he's supposed to know what to do. If there are bridges you need to build, he has the resources. He can use the resources of the state to build such bridges. If there are reconciliations he needs to make, at this time, there's nobody within the state that the governor will call and say, I want to see you. No matter how grievous their offenses might be, the person will give him that, will accord him that respect, and they will sit. And if it is where there is need for apology, he can ask the pressman to leave. Why he say, guy, let this trouble get off our neck. I'm sorry. And life will continue. So if he knows what to do, he will do it. If he does not know what to do, then should he go with this judgment in his pocket, then that will be up to him. Then by next 2028, we'll see fresh candidates contending for the office of the governor. Speaking of which, do you see an internal struggle in the APC come 2028 due to this verdict of the court? Yeah, for internal struggle, there is no political party that does not have internal struggle. There's something I like about political parties. Do you know anybody that manages political party can manage anything? Because every political party is where you have leaders. You know, you can easily lead followers, but it is very difficult to lead leaders. And in every political party, you have leaders. You have men of different interests. In fact, you have men of decent interest, contradictory interest, and all of them will gather as one. So your ability to manage them makes you a superhuman, so to speak. And asking visage internal rift, come 2028 because of this judgment, definitely it will arise. Because if at the end of the day Adetuwa decides to throw in the towel, and definitely some of his allies will want to take up the stage, and those against him would want to do everything possible to make sure that they wipe off everything that is traceable to him. And then what do you expect? There will be squabbles, but at the end of the day, the winner will emerge. Okay. Yeah. All right, moving on. Federal High Court in Abuja on Thursday granted the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission permission to access and analyze electronic devices recovered from the residence of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Justice Joyce Abdul Malik approved the order following an ex parte motion filed by the ICPC's lawyer, Oshobeni. The motion sought authorization for the commission to inspect, conduct forensic examinations, and extract data from the devices in connection with its ongoing investigation into the former governor. According to reports by the News Agency of Nigeria, ICPC operatives recovered 14 electronic devices from El-Rufai's Abuja residence, including a Sony HD EGS storage device, 1 TB Transcend storage device, Toshiba storage device, Samsung and Nokia mobile phones, a BlackBerry device, Google IDEOS phone, Samsung storage device, remarkable tablet, Apple MacBook Pro, Seagate Free Agent Dex external drive, ZTE mobile phone, 10 flash drives, and a micro SD card. In his fundamental rights enforcement suit, El-Rufai alleges that the February 19th search of his residence at 12 Mambila Street, Aso Drive, Abuja violated his rights to dignity,
personal liberty, fair hearing, and privacy under Section 34, 35, 36, and 37 of the Nigerian Constitution. And so what do you have to say concerning that? It seems like the ICPC is really going all out for El-Rufai, but in so far with everything we know about this case, do you think that this is being taken place? Because everybody's saying, or most people are saying, that it has a political undertone. I mean, he is a strong opposition of the APC, and he's also been helping the coalition, you know, come against Tinubu in the 2027 elections and all that. And this comes at a time whereby opposition are crying out that they are being witch hunted by the current administration. Do you think that the right processes is being taken into account in the dealing of El-Rufai?
I think so. I think so. My reason is this. If the opposition is crying out, you know, a witch hunt, they might not be wrong. If they say that what is happening to El-Rufai has political undertone, they might still not be wrong. The reason is that El-Rufai is the one who fetched ant-infested firewood, and he didn't know that there were lizards hanging on the cracks around his house. And they said that he who lives in a glass house does not throw stones. You know you are in the opposition, and you are making unguarded statements. I believe that considering a person of El-Rufai, his level of intelligence, I think either he was manipulated into saying what he said then, because I didn't see El-Rufai as responding in that manner, say, you know, you know, boldly that you tapped into the...
Well, he did not tap. He said somebody he knows tapped into and has the information.
Look at the statement. We listened to him.
Yes.
The question now is how? Say someone.
Yes, because he had to elaborate. Somebody tapped, and then the information was brought to his table.
Someone tapped into it.
Yes.
That person that tapped into it must be an ally to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the hearing room where the conversation was played. You understand? So it is on that premise that I, as a person, expected the federal government of Nigeria to perhaps begin the implementation of the cybercrime. Now, the last time I checked, El-Rufai is not heading any security agency to have most of the equipment recovered, or gadgets recovered from his house. Last time I checked, El-Rufai does not run any media outfit, you know, to have those gadgets. But do I query the gadget he has? Not at all, because he's a free citizen and has right to have whatever kind of gadget that helps him in disseminating his information. So, but seeing that somehow, you know, you just like a Nigerian law will always say that you are presumed innocent until you are convicted by a competent court of law. Every Nigerian walks, so to speak, innocent on the street until that person is being investigated. So from the action or activities of El-Rufai, he had been, he has slided into the arms of security agencies. And you know, the funny part of it is that if this thing that is happening to El-Rufai will teach other Nigerians a lesson. When El-Rufai was in power, we recall his activities, the absoluteness of his power control. Look at somebody like the former Attorney General. When he was in power, you saw the absoluteness of his power control. But today, the same power you controlled suddenly left you, and another person is now controlling it, and the power is locating you and dealing with you. So it is not funny that El-Rufai is languishing in detention for now. It's not funny. But it has to serve as a deterrent to every other Nigerian, including those who are persecuting El-Rufai. You know, there's something that this our Bible, the Holy Writ of the Christian religion, is a complete book. though we believe that it was inspired by God. So, and God being absolute in wisdom, you know, we call him omniscient. He's absolute in wisdom. So he has covered virtually every aspect of life. He said in Galatians chapter 6, he said, brethren, when a brother is taken in a fault, you who are still strong or spiritual should help him with spirit of meekness, taking heed lest you be tempted, because the same temptation that brought a brother down is still capable of bringing you down. So when you are helping the brother who is down, do not rejoice. When you are helping brother who is down, do not nag about it. You know that the same temptation he is going through can still come to you. So that is one thing Nigerian leaders and politicians do not understand, that what you are doing to this person today can eventually turn around and hit you tomorrow, because power is transient, power is not permanent. You cannot stay in office forever. So you stay for a time. When you are done, according to the time apportioned to you by constitution, you bow out. And by the time you bow out, another person will occupy your seat and look at your activities when you are in office. If he likes, he can begin to probe you. Then if he does not want to probe you, somehow the law might catch up with you if you are unlucky. So for the ICPC now obtaining a court order to forensically examine those gadgets, I think it is the right thing. Because when first they raided his Mambila Mambila street residence in Aso Drive, I was like, what will they make of these things? Because they have not really given us the clear-cut activities or functions of these devices. We needed to know what they are for. Yeah. But now a court has asked them the permission to examine those things. I believe that in the next 1-2 weeks we'll be hearing stories coming from that angle about those stuffs. Perhaps they might find some of the conversations of Mr. President, you know, with his wife. Maybe if the wife travels and they are talking, it might be in some of those storage devices and some other notable Nigerians. Yeah. It's very possible, because this country, some people claimed that they are above the law. You know, when you look at what happened at the airport when he was returning from Egypt, you know, how some people say it can never happen out there somewhere, speaking in Hausa language somewhere, you know, speaking in English, it cannot happen, this, as if, okay? You mean that the law cannot apprehend a citizen? Then how? But finally, he had to succumb to the pressure of the law, to the authority of the law. Yeah. And those people that were shouting it will never happen. I don't know how many of them that have gone to ICPC's custody to visit him. I don't know. But somehow, let every Nigerian learn a lesson from this.
Let every Nigerian learn a lesson from this. Moving on, the new Nigeria People's Party says a delay by INEC in uploading the party's current leadership to the Commission's website is affecting its registration membership drive nationwide. This is contained in a statement by the NNPP founder and chairman of Board of Trustees, Dr. Boniface Anebonam, on Thursday in Lagos. Recall that INEC had directed all political parties to ensure electronic registrations of their members nationwide to enable them to participate in the 2027 general elections. Ania Bunam stated that the membership drive and e-registration had been slow due to the continued face-off with Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso-led group. He said that the NNPP portal is already open and that registration has begun for members and intending members nationwide, and he urged stakeholders of the party to be patient. He reiterated that Kwankwaso, the NNPP 2023 presidential candidate, and his followers, including Elder Buba Galadima, remained expelled from the party to teach others lessons that anti-party activities have consequences. Anti-party activities have consequences. Bishop, it's unfortunate that it's only here in Nigeria that we do see politicians acting against the wishes, needs, and demands of its political group. What do you have to say concerning this before we go into, further into the story?
Yes, I would like to pick the statement of the chairman of Board of Trustee from the last point, where he said that it should serve as a deterrent to other Nigerians and members of NNPP that anti-party has consequences. It is happening in NNPP. If it had happened in PDP, we would have had a safe PDP today. But unfortunately, PDP condoned anti-party activities, especially the former acting chairman, Alhaji Umar Ilya, when he was the party acting chairman, Ilya Damagun, he condoned a lot of anti-party activities, and finally it wrecked PDP. So then coming to the activities of I see that some of these government agencies tend to fight the interest or protect the interest of the political party in power and not the Nigerian populace according to the law. They know how to twist law to suit their actions. On what ground will you not upload? If they have certified all the requirements, on what ground will you not upload the names of the NEC the NEC members of that political party? Because most of the people that would have loved to join that political party, perhaps to run one election or the other through that platform, but they will have to check through the standard of that political party. And by the time they discover that INEC had not approved this, INEC had not approved this, INEC, what do you expect? So to a very large extent, it is a means of weakening the potency of that political party. And INEC is doing that. We've seen it happen in Labour Party, when they refuse to acknowledge a particular leadership in Labour Party, which we accuse them of using that to frustrate that political party and frustrate their assumed, I would say, political lord who will eventually emerge as a presidential candidate through that political party. Until that man left, immediately the man left, then they pushed away, the other fellow, that's Barrister Julius Abre, and recognized Nanadi Usman, led the executive. And one will ask, how do they do this? So, to a very large extent, it is a tool that INEC is using, which I am crying foul against INEC. If you have any reason why these people, this leadership of the party cannot be uploaded, then you make it very clear. Yes, they are having litigation in court. You can cite that as an example, because you owe us explanation. There's one thing about this country. Nigerians do not ask questions. And even when they ask, the powers that be will be so arrogant that they will not respond, they will not answer. And that is where I'm not getting it with them. And as a citizen of Nigeria, and as a man who speaks for the masses, for the voiceless, I think I will keep lending my voice to this, that you owe us every explanation why a particular expectation is not met. You owe it to us. If you don't explain to us, how do you expect us to go with you? Or is it because you know that anytime you come, we are like a captured and defeated army? You can deal with us anyhow you like. It is not so. This same thing is happening with, I think, a Corporate Affairs Commission. Since last year, afforded a particular this organization I wanted to register with CSC. And they kept twisting me, turning me here and there, saying they will query this, they will query that. And at the point, I was like, can you show me the law that actually forbade me from answering this name?
Okay.
Can you show me if there is, because that's the problem we are having. I think yesterday or the day before, we were hearing in Abia State, show me the law, show me the law. You jailed a man whom you couldn't show the law that convicted him. And you jailed him. What kind of impunity is this? And this is happening in our country and nobody is talking. Though I wouldn't say nobody is talking, but all the talks are landing on deaf ears. So I expect INEC to explain to NNPP why you have not uploaded the names that they submitted to you.
Yeah.
If it is as a result of litigation, please make it clear that this this litigation is still ongoing. But it's like the chairman of the Board of Trustees said that the court had ordered INEC, but I'm yet to confirm that. I'm yet to confirm that. But if that's why I'm trying not to take sides completely. Yes. That's why I'm begging INEC, do the needful. If you have a reason why you are not doing this, let us know. But don't just keep mute while we are wallowing in ignorance.
And wandering
on in ignorance. In fact, not knowing whether to go forward. Because this is 2027 by the corner. And I think by next month, political parties will begin to produce their candidates.
All right.
So if by next month, this NNPP cannot be able to produce a candidate, what do you expect? Will you give them a new window? Which is very difficult because the law had been made clear. So I think INEC should be able to justify their stance on this, so that NNPP can join other political parties to throw in their weight in 2027 general election.
Moving on, Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress says the People's Democratic Party is steadily sliding into political irrelevance across Nigeria. The APC said the opposition party appeared to be counting down to its expiration due to persistent internal crisis and lack of ideological correction. The party's spokesman in Lagos, Seyi Oladejo, made the remarks in a statement on Thursday. Oladejo said the leadership crisis, internal divisions, and the absence of a coherent vision had weakened the PDP over the years. He said that what once appeared as a dominant national platform had now become a shadow of its former self. He added that the internal crisis within the PDP was the outcome of years of political arrogance and poor leadership culture.
I disagree completely with Seye.
You do?
Yeah, Seye is not saying the truth.
I mean, is the PDP not slowly teetering towards irrelevance?
See,
I mean, how many strong individuals can you count now to be in the PDP? Enough to put them together, structure them together ahead of the 2027 general elections?
In theological study, there's what is called heresy. And heresy is not absence of truth, but it's a mixture of falsehood in a bundle of truth. And that's what Seye has just been doing. He has spoken like a politician, but I think my duty as an analyst is to dissect his bogus statements and pieces it in crumbs, so that the citizens of Nigeria can pick it one by one. PDP is not sliding into expiration. The truth is very clear. We know that APC fought PDP from within. Yes. And I will say that and say it again and again. APC fought PDP from within. You know, when in 2015 PDP lost power, most of the strong men in PDP left to other political parties, you know, SDP, ACN, CPC, and things like that. And the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, you know, upheld PDP so strongly with the help of some of his allies. They upheld PDP. He sponsored PDP. He sustained PDP. I commend him for that doggedness. And unfortunately, after 2023 general election, 2023 general election, he had perhaps an agreement to work with, to support the sitting governor, the present leadership of Nigeria, which is under the APC. And you know when the problem started, when after the PDP National Convention that couldn't produce Wike as the presidential candidate, and the subsequent Tambua betrayal, you know. Actually, he came out, you know, with bruises from that convention, and he was now looking for where to pitch his tent to remain relevant, because the law had quitted him from office as governor. He cannot contest again, and maybe he didn't want to go into Senate, because going into Senate will give whichever governor that will come the power to override him. So he, as a smart politician, he needed to fix himself somewhere within the corridors of power, the corridor of power, you know, that be. And we saw that favored him in APC. So he gathered some people around himself, the G5, and stood against, including the Sheyi, that is his arch-enemy, because two of them are now arch-enemies. Sheyi is championing the other neck with Turaki, and he is championing this one with Abdurrahman. So, which INEC had eventually recognized, you know. It's just funny. It's funny how these things happen. And so he, with the G5, they fought against PDP and gave APC the election of 2023, which I believe that their involvement, their participation, their support was so massive to ensuring the victory that APC enjoyed. And since after then, he knowing fully well that this present government will eventually have 8 years to run under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he needed that 8 years to complete. You know, he had to stand strong, stand firm, to ensure that the APC will not have a strong contender in 2027 general election. So the best thing is to weaken PDP, make them weak, you know, so that after 2027 they can bounce back. And the game started. You saw when Damagu was due to step down and the convention will be held, they insisted no. I was shouting it, Damagu, your time has expired as acting chairman. But they insisted, and he stayed till...
Maybe because he was doing a good job?
No, which good job was he doing? Damagun, to me, does not have capacity.
Maybe to you, but to other people, they feel he's doing a good job. He's doing what needs to be done.
It's not about
that's
me.
why they held him in office or in that position for that long.
Me. As an analyst, my duty is to avoid the extremes. That's my duty. I have to watch each of the political party in this regard from a neutral ground. So if Damagun was doing something right for the people, that's up to them. After all, in fact, even the devil, there are people who are special allies to the devil. So whichever thing a man does, there must be few that will clap for him. But the question we are now asking, as a Nigerian, a patriotic Nigerian, and as a political being in Nigeria, who is watching what is happening to PDP, which was once the largest political party in Africa, you know, that prides itself as, you know, unstoppable, you know, immovable and all that. For 16 good years, they were in power. Suddenly, from within, they were reduced to a rubble. That as we speak now, it's only, I think, other 2 governors that are remaining in PDP.
Yeah, 2 governors.
I don't know how many senators that are remaining, but I think that yesterday or the day before, one of the one of the former deputy governor of Rivers State, that is a senator now, Palebo Hari, also resigned from PDP. Tambua has resigned from PDP. So all the stakeholders are leaving. The reason is this: by the time PDP is decimated to a certain level, it will be left in comatose. It will remain there until after 2027 election. Then
do you see them reviving
definitely
before
now.
The 2027 election?
No, not before.
Oh, okay.
You can even hear from the FCT minister who said that the PDP may likely not present a presidential flag bearer.
May not, and then eventually doing it could be 2 different things.
I am coming. The man speaking is a man you need to hear. the man speaking is a man you need to listen to, because all his words in PDP are actually coming to pass. In fact, the one that shocked me was the recognition INEC gave to Samuel Anyamu's Abdul Rahman-led National Executive Committee. And now you see that the court is also giving them recognition. Yes, they won out the cases, about 9 of them. I think that was either Monday or thereabouts.
Yes.
So you want to respect the man when he speaks. And he's saying they may not. You don't need to expect him to say they will not. He had to be very diplomatic in his statement. He said they may not present a candidate, but they will negotiate with APC. That is the consummation of all the arrangements. By the time that negotiation is done, it means that some of the PDP members who are still in PDP, but they are one way or the other, having a romance with APC, may in one way or the other get appointed into some strategic political offices, after 2027 general election, and that will give the SCT minister more strong backing. That if by the time PDP will pick life again, it is still themselves that will still come back to give PDP the vibe it requires, the revival it requires to live on. So to a large extent, I see this man. Sometime in 2023, I suggested that some of the universities should add in their curriculum the study in their political science, the study of politics in their universities, wikology. You need to study wiki as a politician, honestly, because in as much as I may not agree with him in some of his stance, I respect Wike's dexterity. I respect Wike's stubbornness, because life requires some of these things sometimes. I respect his mental toughness. I respect his political intelligence. This man can sit here and solve the mathematics that AI will produce in the next 10 years. I don't know if you can understand that level of intelligence. And that is what I wonder if Wike do sleep in the night. I wonder.
Well,
because each time he wakes up, actually he makes mistakes as a human, because no human is perfect. He makes those mistakes, but can you see his articulations? Can you see his plannings? That finally this is March 2026, and INEC has given April 2026 for political parties to produce their candidates. Do you think, having nullified the November 2025 National Convention that PDP held, do you think that PDP can prepare now and hold another National Convention within this 1 month or 2? It's impossible. So likely PDP will come out without, in fact, they may not be in the ballot, especially for presidents. If at all they will be in ballot, it might be in most state senates, House of Reps, governorship and other. But for presidency, I don't see it coming. And to the man who perfected that plan, I say bravo, because to me, anywhere I see greatness, I salute it, irrespective of who carries it, whether you be my enemy or my friend. That's why you don't see anybody say he's Nze's arch-enemy. The only arch-enemy I have is Satan. But sometimes, anyway, we can still negotiate with Satan where necessary. Yeah, sometimes we do that.
Hopefully we never negotiate with the devil. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
No, the terrorists are the devil.
I mean, the devil, what does the devil do? It terrorizes people. So you can classify the devil.
That is a wrong concept of the devil.
Okay, let's not
his original name is Lucifer.
Yes, that was before
that is the son
he was cast out.
No. The name he bore, like you, the name they gave you when you were born, you might come to a secondary school and decide to, change to another name or whatever. But that original name stands. He's Lucifer, son of the down. Are you getting me? So the bright morning star. So when you say you don't negotiate with him, it's just because you are having a connotation of what looks very dark, gloomy, and things like.
I mean, I'm just saying, let's not go into bed with the devil. Nobody wants to go into bed with the devil.
Yes, but let's people are going to bed with him. People are going to bed with him.
I wish them all the best.
Yes, that's the only thing you can do. But you know that even in Nigeria, when you say we don't negotiate with terrorists, negotiation is going on even till now. Because in all those, is it Ondo Akure? Let's throw close now. I see them calling on consulting the Fulani leaders, you know, to discuss the peace of that area. How can that be? Is it no negotiation?
Okay.
And Gumi is telling you that he does not go to negotiate with the terrorists alone, that he goes with the government. And you are coming on air to tell me that you don't negotiate with the terrorists. Everybody negotiates with the terrorists. Except when Nigeria will have a decisive action against the people to hit them down, which for now, I don't see that political will.
All right. The bishop has given us a lot to ponder upon. But in the meantime, Turaki faction of the People's Democratic Party has agreed to reconcile with the Wiki-led camp, signaling a possible end to months of internal party conflicts. Eni Obong, the factional national publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party, shared updates on efforts to reconcile the party's warring factions. A major challenge is that the faction led by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, supports a second term for President Bola Tinubu. On the other hand, the Kabiru Turaki-led faction wants the PDP to present its own presidential candidate. The Wike faction has said the PDP will not run a presidential candidate in the next election and may ask Turaki's group to support President Tinubu as a condition for reconciliation. And we're just talking about this conversation. Is it,
you know,
is it right?
I almost preempted a hidden news without knowing that such news information will come up.
I mean, is it right for one affiliated to a political party to be working against his own political party? Now the question is this is the terms and condition. The only reason why we can reconcile if you as my party, the opposition party, promise to allow the opposition as well, or the current administration that we are warring against, in politically, not like physical war, politically warring against, to come in for another term. To what end and to what gain?
Well, I think the constitution of most of the political parties allows them a room for waiver. You can collaborate where necessary. It is not against the law. It's not against the law. So if one would say that it does not mean you are fighting against your political party in this case, rather you think that the candidate this political party is bringing has all it takes to deliver what you consider your own perhaps agenda for coming into power. So you can collaborate with them, you can support that political party to win. In fact, your political party coming to give them a support is a boost. Yes, it's a boost to their vote. And seeing, like what I said earlier, not knowing that this news will be coming up, you see that the Turaki-led faction that has been disbanded by the law, by court, you know, appeal court, so to speak, though they intended going to Supreme Court, which they were advised not to because it will not favor them. And for me too, I would say that it is not necessary. Because when two courts had asked them not to hold that convention, instead of listening to these two federal high courts, they went to Oyo State, and whichever way they did with the judge that gave them permission to go ahead, and they went ahead. Now it is clear. The court told INEC not to recognize them. That's why when they came back and wanted to move into Wadata Plaza, Wike camp and Wike himself, who knows the game, in fact, better than some of them do, had to come in. And when the squabble ensued, the police had to come and seal up the national office of PDP in Wuse Zone 5. So now they could no longer enter the office until now. And finally, having gone to court have quashed their 9 suit and given credence to Nyesom Wike's led faction. And now, if they go further, they will stay in court the 2027 election will come and go.
But do you see the other faction, actually the Turaki-led faction, do you actually see them bowing to the pressure from...
They have no option. In fact, they don't exist. Hear me. Even a Memobom that is, being referred to as the National Publicity Secretary, he is not. Even Turaki that is being referred to as the NEC chairman of, national chairman of the other faction, is not. Because the convention that produced you is null and void. Are you getting to that point? The convention that produced you is null and void. So on what premise are you assuming or giving to yourself the offices and the titles you give to yourself? They don't exist. So I believe that what they needed to do is to come back, just like Wike has said that there is room for reconciliation. Yes, all of you were in PDP, and at some point you disagreed based on one reason or the other, and you went into the field and fought. And at the end of the day, victor emerged, vanquished emerged. So, and after this fight, you can now come back behind the curtains and have a handshake with your friend with whom you fought. And both of you will now team up to think of how to better the lot of the platform in which both of you had struggled for supremacy. So I believe strongly that Turaki-led a faction will have to bow to the pressure of Nyesom Wike-led faction, and they will support Bola Ahmed Tinubu for 2027.
Then that means that other than the ADC, we are not supposed to expect any strong opposition from the PDP. If that's the case, then do you see the APC coming back into power again come 2027? Because the PDP has been like a major, up until now, had been a major, opposition party in Nigeria. We've seen its influence in past elections and what's not. Would this, if Nyesom Wike finally succeeds in, convincing them to not bring out a candidate that will go against ADC, does that mean that the APC, against the APC, does that mean that the APC has a very big chance of being re-elected come 2027?
This is a national television. We are being watched all over the world. We're being watched all by over 200 million Nigerians. I have been saying this, that every rational politician who understands the game of politics shouldn't, or who also want to win election as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, shouldn't contest against Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027.
Why not?
Good.
So should they just be handed over to him on a silver platter?
When Nyesom Wike was talking about structure, not many people knows what structure meant until structure began to play. And today you see in River State, you see how his structure had regained position. Go around all the wards in River State, it is Nyesom Wike. All the local government is Nyesom Wike. The River State House of Assembly is Nyesom Wike. So the only place you are not looking whether Wike is or is not is in the executive. But whether he is in the executive or not, the structure on ground that determines who sits on that seat is already in his hand. Okay. So now, why did I say that no rational politician should contest against Tinubu? Tinubu started planning for 2027 in 2023. When did you start to plan your own? And he has set all the structures on ground. He had all the political parties that will fight against him. He has clipped their wings. Look at Labour Party today. What do you think they can produce? The ADC you are talking about is having their matter on fire. It is on the gas cooker. Are you getting me? What they are waiting for is any day they see that it's like they want to wag their tail, they'll on the gas. Yes, and gas will begin to boil. PDP now is clearing. I think what I kept on shouting earlier, even when I was shouting that If this PDP-led NEC cannot, National Working Committee cannot expel Yeso Wike, that Yeso Wike will bring them to their knees. So they fail to do it, and finally he has brought them to their knees. And they need to respect him for that. So now that I'm shouting and giving this warning that no political, in fact, my brother Peter Obi shouldn't allow himself to be messed up. The mess we suffered in 2023, you should go on with it. If we want to fight again for this office, let it be 2031 or perhaps 2038.
Okay.
But for now, 2039 rather. But for now, let him not try to, because he can't make it. How will you be able to? Check out the ADC, the NNPP, the what's it called, the Labour Party, the PDP. They are all gone. Is it good party or B party that we used to? Except if God says that he will not run. And not running means that his life is taken, and it will be taken in the open where every Nigerian will see. Otherwise, he can be cloned. Yes, he can be cloned, and his clone will run and win, because only his name alone is what is needed. His name and picture. He does not. You don't need him to come and begin to campaign and tell you. This morning, as I was coming out, I saw the bus that passed. Renewed hope bus, and I just looked. I said, "Wow, this is just it." Campaign has not started, but every machinery is already on ground. So you find out that this 2027 general election will be a walkover, especially for the president. So nobody should. I keep on telling people, do not waste your vote. For me, I'll cast my vote if I must cast. If I must exercise my franchise, I'll cast my vote for APC. But am I APC member? No. Will I ever join APC? I doubt. I'm not sure. Maybe. But for this 2027 general election, there is no need of wasting my vote with any other political party other than APC, especially for the presidency.
Okay.
Then other offices, I can vote based on individuals. All
right. I have a question for you, but that will be off air.
Anthony, I'm beginning to get skeptical. This one that you're reserving some questions of
no,
I hope my head is promised to remain on my shoulder.
You're capable. You're capable. Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party has constituted a special committee to interface with the party's legal team and stakeholders to foster internal reconciliation. The BOT disclosed this in a communique issued on Wednesday in Abuja at the end of the expanded emergency meeting, presided over by the board chairman, Adolphus Wabaro. According to the communique, the special committee is to address the leadership crisis following the March 9th judgment of the Court of Appeal, as well as to help enable the party to field candidates for the 2026 general elections. The appeal court's judgment had invalidated the party's November 2025 National Convention, which produced the Tanimu Turaki-led National Working Committee. The communique also stated that while the PDP BOT disagreed over the appellate court's judgment, it was awaiting for more advice from its lawyers on the way forward. It expressed concern over the avoidable internal leadership disputes and wranglings that led to damaging litigations, noting their detrimental effect on the unity of the main opposition. I mean, I like the fact that they've taken into accountability their actions, how their actions have led them to this place. But is it really avoidable? Could they have avoided the situation they are in today?
Very avoidable.
Okay.
That's why I said that PDP was destroyed from within. You understand? For instance, if you are running temperature, there is need for you to conduct a test to know what exactly is causing that temperature run. If it is malaria, you treat it. If it is another kind of sickness, you treat it. But PDP was running temperature and refused to run a test. Rather, they were taking all manner of tabs that were not having effect directly to the cause of the temperature. And until the sickness escalated. You know, during, prior to 2023 general election, Ezemonye Sowike described the PDP problem as malaria, and that of APC as cancer. But unknown to people that he had just spoken in like a prophet, not really hitting the word very directly. PDP is the one that will suffer cancer, and APC will be managing malaria. And you see the level the cancer has brought PDP, that as we speak now, the BOT, under the leadership of Adolphus Wabra, distinguished Senator Adolphus Wabra, His Excellency, the former Senate President of the Republic of Nigeria, a very good friend of mine, a man I love so much. You see him now, speaking peace and ready to succumb to the leadership of his, at the other BOT, under the leadership of his brother, Ohuabunwa, they are brothers, they are all Abians and things like that. So you see that finally he will succumb based on his statement here. You already see his body language that they will have to reconsider, in as much as they did like or not agree with the judgment of Appeal Court, but they are waiting for the counsel of their lawyers. And their lawyers, if truly they are interested in saving the situation, will advise them to go for reconciliation instead of continuing the, if I will call it, fruitless litigation. So likely we believe that by June, July 2026, PDP will come back together as one. But by then, without substance, without, they will fly in a pit.
But is it possible though? I mean, let's say, for example, let's say Minister Nyesom Wike gets his way and they succumb due to pressure due to the internal wranglings. Come the next elections, after this 2027, the next elections, do you see similar thing playing out in the PDP? Because at this point, lots of people may have given up their ambition, just for peace to reign. So for peace to reign, you said we should allow you to do your tennis period, right? Okay, no problem, I can let it go. But mind you, the next election, I'm going to have enough time to prepare, which means that what are you also willing to lose in the next election? It has to be a give and take. So if you want me to allow not to contest for the presidential election and allow Tinubu do that, come the next one, when Tinubu is not standing, I want to stand. Do you not see similar situations still playing out in the PDP if the real problem is not rooted out?
Yes, there is possibility. There is possibility of this kind of thing playing out in 2031. When Tinubu will be bowing out. Definitely they will say the time of the South is over. Now let the North come in. If some strong people from the South in PDP still want to contest, and we discover that that they have more political muscle, more than whichever candidate that might be coming from the North, the possibility that this same sickness that brought them to their knee now might emerge again. Yes, to pave way for the North, for the candidate, the rightful candidate they want to present to emerge. But if they are bringing a weaker candidate in 2031, and that candidate is somehow supported by Tinubu, because one thing about political party is that there is nothing like permanent membership, and there is, I think, infidelity is permitted in political party.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's their nature.
Yeah.
Yes, if that person that will emerge from PDP is having President Tinubu's nod, definitely PDP will be given all the machinery, all the strength to push. But if that person is not coming from the camp of Mr. President, and they know that he can actually give APC a good fight, they might clip his wings again. Then, but if not, if they are producing, PDP is producing a candidate from the North, and the candidate is weak, APC can overlook them and have their way. You understand? But to me, my advice to them is this. let them first, for the interest of those who might want to run elections, governorship, state House of Assembly, Federal House of Reps, Senate, and even local government chairmen and councillors, let them rebuild PDP so that in 2027, PDP can have other candidates, emerging from them. Then for APC that have gathered all the big wits all over the country to themselves, we are waiting for their implosion because it will likely happen. Yes, a lot of people have been clipped to a sorry state, and a time will come that they will say, I no agree again. And by then, you receive an implosion from APC, and when that implosion happens, majority of them will return back to PDP as a safe haven.
Okay, as predicted by none other than the People's Bishop, Mr. Nze O. Nze. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blue Out. We are open for sponsorship of the program, adverts, placements, news, events, coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Avo TV platform, Niger TV, Ifastec TV platform. Also connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, Atlantic TV Net. Remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you so much for watching. I am Antonia Alsabel.